There's a reason World War II vehicle crews earned reputations not just for combat skill, but for the brutal creativity required to keep machines alive under fire. Before the modern luxury of rapid logistics, recovery vehicles, or endless spare parts, these men learned the hard way that a machine that stops moving becomes a coffin. And if you're watching this on Warfield Prepper Chronicles, you already know survival often depends on what you can fix with your own two hands, not on what someone else rescues you with. What makes these lessons worth revisiting today is that they weren't crafted in comfort. They were carved out of necessity under the pressure of time, terrain, and enemies who didn't care that your engine wouldn't start. So today, we're going straight into 10 lessons most people overlook when studying World War II mechanics and mobile repairs, and why they still matter for anyone who takes preparedness, history, or resilience seriously. No romanticizing, no reenactor shortcuts. Just what crews actually did to keep rolling when stopping meant failing. Keeping vehicles alive depended on constant inspection long before anything broke. World War II crews didn't wait for breakdowns. They lived by the rule that every stop, every lull, every change of terrain required a hands-on inspection. Tank crews would climb over hulls, checking track tension by touch, listening for loose idlers and smelling overheating oil. Truck drivers in supply convoys learned to feel a failing wheel bearing through the steering column before it became catastrophic. For anyone applying this today, the takeaway is simple. Maintenance isn't a task, it's a habit. Whether you're running a generator, an off-grid vehicle, or even a daily driver you depend on, adopt the same ritual the crews used. Every stop means fluids, tension points, and temperatures get checked. Failures become rare when vigilance becomes routine. Improvised repairs were not optional, but the standard operating procedure. Crews learned early that parts wouldn't arrive when needed. Soviet tankers cut strips from leather belts to replace fan belts in winter. Allied jeep crews used wire scavenged from destroyed fences to keep exhaust systems hanging after impacts. German panzer crews, short on rubber, sometimes jammed woodblocks into suspension arms long enough to limp back to friendly lines. The modern lesson is that improvisation isn't a gimmick. It's a skill you train deliberately. If you rely on a bug-out vehicle, take one weekend and practice patching hoses, replacing clamps with wire, or keeping a vehicle moving after losing a minor component. The point isn't perfection. The point is mobility. Standard loadouts were built around anticipated failures, not convenience. World War II vehicle kits weren't random collections of tools. They were curated through attrition. Crews learned what failed most often: fan belts, hoses, track pins, cotter pins, water pumps. So they carried exactly what history had taught them they'd need. For preppers, this is the blueprint for your own readiness. Don't fill compartments with gadgets. Track what actually strains or breaks on your engine or off-grid equipment and build your kit around that. If a hose clamp fails every 6 months, you carry clamps. If a fuel filter has clogged twice, you carry extras. This mindset works because it isn't speculative, it's historical. Mobility was preserved by fixing the cause, not the symptom. An overheating tank isn't fixed by adding water. World War II crews knew you diagnosed the actual source. Blocked radiators, failing pumps, stuck thermostats. Field reports from the North African campaign show crews flushing radiators with sand because it was the only abrasive available strong enough to scour mineral buildup. Apply this today by forcing yourself to diagnose mechanically rather than band-aiding. If your generator keeps surging, don't just adjust the choke. Trace fuel flow, airflow and spark until the root cause shows itself. Symptom chasing wastes time you may not have. Crews mastered the art of cannibalization even under stressful conditions. Parts weren't sacred. A dead tank wasn't mourned, it was stripped. Crews would remove functional road wheels, radios, carburetors, even gun sights under fire if needed. This wasn't desperation, it was doctrine. For survivalists, the parallel is salvage discipline. If a tool, machine or vehicle of yours becomes non-functional, strip what still has value. A dead alternator still has hardware. A cracked housing still has intact gears. Build a salvage bin and treat broken machines as donors, not waste. Speed mattered because repairs under pressure saved lives. German half-track crews recorded average field repair times for specific breakdowns. Overheating fuel pumps had to be replaced in under 5 minutes. Broken track links needed reconnecting in under 10. These weren't drills, these were survival metrics. To apply this today, set a timer during your own maintenance practice. How fast can you change a tyre in the dark? Replace a serpentine belt with cold hands? Switch a fuel filter blindfolded? Speed is a skill, not a talent. Teamwork, trumped individual skill every time. Crew repairs were, practically choreographed. One man handled tools, another stabilized components, and another kept an eye on the surroundings. No single soldier fixed a tank alone, not ever. Even in prepping, this lesson holds true. Build repair literacy in your household or team so, multiple hands know what to do. A single competent mechanic is a vulnerability, but a trained group is resilience. Environmental adaptation was, honestly, a skill that separated effective crews from dead ones. Winter froze lubricants. Desert heat, it boiled radiators. Jungle humidity, it rotted wiring. World War II mechanics didn't just repair vehicles, they adjusted their procedures based on environment. In cold, they'd warm oil pans with torches. In heat, they'd shield fuel lines with rags soaked in water. For modern off-grid or crisis situations, this means you tailor your vehicle care to your climate. High dust regions demand constant filtration checks, and wet climates, they require relentless attention to corrosion. Repairs on the move required knowing what to ignore. Crews couldn't fix everything, not by a long shot. They learned which problems were fatal and which could wait. A cracked fender? Ignore it. A clogged fuel filter? Fix it now. That ability to prioritize is, frankly, essential today. When equipment fails, you've got to decide whether the issue stops you or merely annoys you. Prioritization gives you mobility when perfection would trap you. Every lesson from World War II vehicle crews repairing on the move circles back to one truth: mobility is survival. Whether you're studying history or preparing for hard times, the crews of World War II left a manual written in grease, sweat, and broken parts. Their experiences, you see, offer a roadmap for resilience grounded in reality, not theory. If this breakdown from Warfield Prepper Chronicles gave you value, make sure you hit subscribe, share this with another history lover, and stick around for more lessons forged in the real pressures of war.